Episode 3. The hidden truth about dogs. Can dogs feel guilt? Or is it just acting? You walk into the room. The trash is destroyed, the couch cushion is torn, and your dog is frozen. Head low, eyes wide, avoiding eye contact. You say their name. They look guilty. But are they? Or is that famous guilty look something completely different? Tonight, we uncover the hidden truth behind one of the most misunderstood dog emotions. Most dog owners believe they've seen guilt. We've all seen it. That unmistakable look. It starts with the body language. The lowered head, a gesture of deference that immediately catches our attention. The ears might flatten against the skull. You might see the whites of their eyes, a sign of anxiety we often miss. Maybe there's a nervous yawn, or a quick, repetitive lick of the lips. Then there's the tucked tail. The slow, cautious movements, as if walking on eggshells. Every signal seems to broadcast one single powerful message. I'm sorry. When we walk in to find a shredded pillow or a forbidden snack devoured, this display can feel like a direct, heartfelt confession. It feels deeply personal. It feels as if your dog possesses a human-like understanding of right and wrong, as if they know they've broken a rule and are now feeling the pangs of remorse. We see our own emotions reflected back at us in those soulful eyes, and it's almost impossible not to interpret it as guilt. But here's the question that canine behaviorists have been asking for years. Is your dog truly reacting to their past action? Or are they reacting to you in this very moment? Because in the world of animal behavior, timing is everything. Think about it. Often the so-called guilty look doesn't appear when the crime is committed. It materializes only after the owner enters the room and discovers the scene. It appears after our posture stiffens, after our tone of voice changes from a happy greeting to a sharp, "What did you do?" It appears after the tension in the air becomes thick enough to cut with a knife. That detail is critically important, and it's what led researchers to design a clever experiment to get to the bottom of this mystery. In a well-known behavioral study, they put this very idea to the test. The setup was simple. Dogs were instructed by their owners not to eat a delicious treat that was left on the floor. The owner then left the room, leaving the dog alone with the temptation. As you can imagine, sometimes the dog ate the forbidden treat, and sometimes, with admirable restraint, they didn't. But here's the brilliant twist. The dog's actual behavior didn't matter. What mattered was what the owner had happened. When the owner returned, the researchers sometimes lied to them. In some cases, they told the owner that their obedient dog had actually eaten the treat, even when it was still sitting right there on the floor. In other cases, they did the opposite, telling an owner their dog had behaved perfectly, even when the dog had secretly snatched the snack. The stage was set for a fascinating reveal. So, what happened? Which dogs showed the guilty look? The results were crystal clear. The dogs showed the guilty look whenever their owner scolded them, regardless of whether they were actually innocent or not. Let that sink in for a moment. The dogs who hadn't eaten the treat, but were scolded, looked just as guilty as the ones who had. And the dogs who eat the treat but were praised showed no guilt at all. The expression was not triggered by an internal sense of wrongdoing. It wasn't a confession. It was a direct, learned response to the owner's behavior. It was an act of appeasement, a beautifully evolved strategy to diffuse tension and de-escalate a perceived threat from their most important person, you. This suggests the guilty look may not be guilt at all. It may be a response to social pressure. True guilt requires something complex. It requires understanding. I broke a rule. I caused harm. I should have behaved differently. This level of moral reasoning requires self-reflection. And according to most neuroscientists, dogs likely do not process morality the way adult humans do. Their emotional development is often compared to a 2 to 3-year-old child. They understand consequences. They understand tone of voice. They understand patterns. But abstract moral judgment? Unlikely. If it's not guilt, what is it? But what if the truth behind that guilty look isn't about guilt at all? What if the answer is far simpler and yet infinitely more powerful? The answer is a deeply ingrained, ancient survival strategy: appeasement. This isn't an admission of wrongdoing. It's a sophisticated social tool, a language designed to diffuse tension and restore harmony. It's a behavior passed down through generations, not to confess to chewing a shoe, but to ensure the survival and stability of the pack. To understand this, we have to remember that dogs are fundamentally social animals. Their ancestors, wolves, built their entire world around the pack. In a wolf pack, open conflict is a luxury they can't afford. An injury from a fight could mean being unable to hunt, which could be a death sentence. So, avoiding conflict isn't a sign of weakness. It's the bedrock of their society. They developed a complex vocabulary of body language to navigate disagreements and maintain peace. This vocabulary is made up of what animal behaviorists call calming signals. You've seen them countless times. Lowering the head, averting the eyes to avoid a direct, challenging stare, crouching to reduce body size and appear smaller, less intimidating. Even a seemingly out-of-place yawn or a quick lick of the lips can be part of this intricate dialogue. Each of these signals is a carefully chosen word in a silent conversation. They are all saying the same thing, broadcasting a clear, universal message to de-escalate a tense situation. That message is, I am not a threat. I sense tension in the environment, and it makes me uncomfortable. And most importantly, I want safety and peace to be restored. It's a plea for a return to normalcy. Now, picture this common scenario. You walk into a messy room. Maybe a pillow has been de-stuffed. You're frustrated, your shoulders are tense, your voice is sharp. Before you even see the evidence, your dog reads your body language instantly. That's because dogs are masters of emotional detection. They live in a world of scent and body language, and they are exquisitely tuned to ours. In fact, scientific studies confirm this incredible ability. Research has shown that dogs can accurately read human facial expressions and identify shifts in our tone of voice within fractions of a second. They process our emotions in a part of their brain analogous to the area humans use for the same purpose. They aren't just guessing. They are feeling along with us. So, when you see that guilty look, what you're likely witnessing is a complex cocktail of emotions. A mix of empathy for your distress and a powerful instinctual drive for self-protection. Your dog has detected a threat, your anger, and is deploying its ancient appeasement toolkit to diffuse it. They are reacting directly to your emotional state, not confessing to a crime. They are trying to manage your emotions to keep themselves safe. Here is the hidden truth. That look isn't about what they did. It's about what you are about to do. It's a scene every dog owner knows. You walk into a room to find a forbidden item shredded, a mess on the floor, or a favorite pair of shoes chewed beyond recognition. And there in the corner is your dog, head lowered, ears back, eyes wide and averted. It's the classic guilty look. We've seen it countless times in viral videos and in our own homes. Our immediate human interpretation is clear. They know they did something wrong, and they feel bad about it. But what if that entire interpretation, that deeply felt certainty that our dog is experiencing guilt, is a story we're telling ourselves? What if the truth is far more nuanced and reveals something much deeper about our connection? To understand this, we first have to understand guilt itself. In humans, guilt is a complex, secondary emotion. It requires a sophisticated level of self-awareness, a moral compass of right and wrong, and the ability to reflect on a past action and connect it to a negative outcome. It's the voice in our head that says, I shouldn't have done that. For a dog to feel guilt in this human sense, they would need to possess this entire cognitive framework. And that's where science urges us to pause and look closer. One of the most revealing studies on this topic was conducted by canine cognition expert Alexandra Horowitz. In her 2009 experiment, the so-called guilty look was put to the test. The results were fascinating. The dogs displayed these submissive behaviors most consistently, not when they had actually disobeyed an order, but when their owners they had and subsequently scolded them, even if the dog was completely innocent. The guilty look, it turned out, had very little to do with the dog's own actions. It had everything to do with the owner's reaction. So, if it's not guilt, what are we seeing? The answer lies in a fundamental part of canine social language: appeasement behavior. Dogs may not feel guilt in the human moral sense, but they do feel connection. They are exquisitely sensitive to our emotional state, our tone of voice, our posture, the tension in our shoulders. They care about your reaction. When you walk in and discover a mess, your body language instantly changes. Your voice might get sharp, your posture stiffens. Your dog reads these signals loud and clear. They care about social harmony. They want stability restored. In the canine world, conflict is dangerous, so they have a built-in toolkit of behaviors designed to de-escalate tension. Lowering the head, tucking the tail, averting their gaze, even licking. These are all signals that say, "I am not a threat. I see you are upset. Let's restore peace." And that desire comes from attachment, not manipulation. It's a testament to the powerful bond they share with us. Their world revolves around our social group, and a disruption in that group's harmony is a primary concern. When your dog lowers their head, they may be saying, "I feel your tension," not, "I regret my actions." They are responding to the immediate emotional weather in the room, not reflecting on the torn cushion from an hour ago. That distinction changes everything. Because punishment after the fact does not teach morality. It teaches fear of your reaction. Dogs live in the present. Their brains are wired to connect a consequence to an action that is happening, or within a second or two. When you scold them for something they did hours or even minutes ago, they don't connect the punishment to the past behavior. They connect it to your current presence and your current anger. This is why effective training focuses on immediate, positive reinforcement. You reward the good choice the moment it happens. You manage the environment to prevent the bad choices in the first place. This approach works with their nature, not against it. It builds trust and teaches them what you want, rather than just making them anxious about what you don't. So, can dogs feel guilt? Science suggests what we interpret as guilt is more likely a response to our emotions, an instinct to calm, to reconnect, to restore balance. And maybe that tells us something important. It shows us that our emotional state has a profound and direct impact on our dogs. They may not judge themselves, but they care deeply about us. This isn't a lesser connection, it's a different one, rooted in empathy and a deep-seated need for social harmony. In the next episode, we explore another hidden truth. Do dogs understand when we are sad? Or are we imagining that bond? Because what science says about emotional detection may surprise you.